Hi guys, I'm just pulling up my live on my tablet so I can see your guys' comments. Oh, there I am. Make sure the volume's down. There we go. If you're gonna paint along with me, make sure you go get a drink of choice. I considered getting water, but I got Dr. Pepper instead. I figured I'm gonna treat myself. I usually don't drink too much sodas, but been drinking a little more soda since we've been on quarantine. Guess it's better than alcohol. Okay, where's my comments? Oh, hi Sarah. My cousin's on here. Yay. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Alrighty. So this is the painting we're going to be working on today. Not including the cat hair. Hi everybody. Hi Sarah. Thank you for joining me. This is my first virtual tutorial. I've done a couple little ones, but this is going to be the first one, like a little more extensive. So yes, okay. So first I just wanted to say that this tutorial is brought to you by Color Street Nails. That's what I'm wearing right now. I have a girlfriend that sells these. They're really cool. It is actually nail polish, and but you apply them like a sticker, like the old Jamberries, but you don't have to use a hair dryer. You just press them on. They're really cool. So anyways, if my friend Rebecca Hopkins is on here, maybe she'll plug in her site. So yeah, so I had to do my nails today. We can't go to the nail salon, so we gotta do it ourselves, right? Otherwise we're gonna have some ugly nails. We can't have ugly nails. Okay, so I'm gonna go over the supplies. So I'm Terry Woodhams, by the way, and owner of Let's Be Artful Paint Parties. And I can't wait to do them in person again. I hope this quarantine stuff goes away fast. Getting kind of over it already, but this is what we're gonna do for now. Oh, thank you. I need to cut it. Yeah, I gotta have my hubby cut it for me. So, all right. I'm gonna go over the supplies that we need. So, of course, you don't have to have a canvas, but canvas is preferred. But if you have just some thick, like watercolor paper, or even like frozen pizza box, has a great surface, and they're free if you eat frozen pizza like we do. Or piece of wood, like sanded wood or something, or just some paper, just to kind of doodle along and have fun. Okay, all right. And I'm gonna be using white, any kind of white acrylic paint is what I'm using. So white and a light gray. If you don't have gray, just mix just a little bit of black in your white, and that will get you a nice gray. It's not that particular. I got a medium type of a, hey Michelle! I got a medium pink. Any kind of a medium or light pink will work. And then a darker pink, like a magenta. This one's a bright magenta by Apple Barrel. The Apple Barrel paints will be great, or any kind of brand. And then Deco Art brand is even better than the Apple Barrel paints. If you can get those are great. So an orange. Of course, you don't have to use these colors. These are just what I'm using. You can use whatever colors you have, whatever colors you like. You can make it match more of your decor in your home. And then just any kind of pretty green, like a darkish green. And then a light green. If you don't have a light green, just mix a little bit of white in your darker green. You'll get a lighter green. Maybe even add a pinch of yellow in there too. And then a light blue. Mine is the Apple Barrel Caribbean blue. That's my favorite color. But any kind of a light blue that you have will work. And purple. Any kind of purple that you like. This is just like a basic purple. This one's Lavender by the Deco Arts brand. And then for my lettering, I use black paint. If you don't have black paint, you can just use like a Sharpie marker. A Sharpie marker will work just fine. And you might even prefer to use a Sharpie marker if your hand's a little shaky. Okay, and then I got a paper plate or something to put your paint on. I've seen some people put it on foil too, if you don't have an actual paint palette. And the brushes I'll be using, you can use any one of these. I'll probably be using this one. It's like a 1-inch flat brush, but if you just have a chip brush or a sponge brush, any of those will do. That's just for our background. The smaller the brush, the longer it's going to take. So if you're only using like a brush like this, that's okay, but it'll just take you longer. And then my medium-sized round brush, something like that will work. And then a small brush, smallest brush you got. And then to get our lettering onto the canvas, you're going to need a pencil, just one pencil. I got two just in case one broke. And some chalk. If you don't have chalk, that's okay. Just use pencil, real light touch pencil. But chalk washes away. It wipes away really easily. So chalk's really, really good. Even if you have just kid chalk, that'll work too. And am I missing anything? Oh, a rag or a paper towel. I like to use these rags because I can use them over and over again. Let's see here. Oh, and go run. If you didn't go, get a cotton swab. Or if you don't have a cotton swab, if you have a paintbrush that has a flat bottom, that'll work too, because that's what we're going to use to do the dots on here, the little dots. I like to use the cotton swabs, but the back of a paintbrush will work in a pinch too. And let's see, if you didn't grab one, if you saw the supplies and you're wondering, why in the world do I need a dinner plate? Well, I used a plate to draw the circle on my canvas. So whatever size plate you have, that will fit on your surface. I think I used this one on here. This isn't a full dinner plate. It's kind of like a kid size plate. But if you're working on a bigger surface, then you can use a bigger plate. All right. And okay. Oh, and rinse water. Don't forget your rinse water. And my tip of the day is to get 2 containers. You don't have to do this right now. I'm just giving you a tip if you like to do painting a lot. You get a jar or some sort of cup, put water in that, and then put this in another container and put water in that. And then what you do when you rinse out your brush, and actually this will keep your paint water from getting too dirty. Before you even stick it in there, rinse or wipe off your paintbrush on your rag first, or your paper towel first, and then rinse it off in the inside one first, and then do a final rinse in the water that's in the bowl on the outside. And I don't have to change my rinse water as often. It's kind of a little cheat that I got from another artist guy that I've watched a lot of his tutorials online. Any questions? Okay, let's get painting. I'm gonna move it over here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, can you see that okay? Guess I'll put this one back here. All right. So the first thing you're going to want to do is, if your paintbrush is like kind of hard and crunchy, go ahead and dip it in your water and wipe off that excess water there, because we don't want to be drippy. I'm on a canvas, but you absolutely do not need an easel. I'm on an easel. You don't have to be on an easel. I actually designed this flat, but I'm just putting it up here so that you can see it better. At some point, actually, I'm going to take it off of the easel when I do the lettering, because it's easier that way. All right, so I'm going to dip into my white, and I'm going to get a lot on my paintbrush. Hi, Rebecca. She made it. I did do, Rebecca's the one that I got my Color Street nails from. I did, Rebecca, say a little blurb at the very beginning. And showed them my nails. My nails. See how pretty they are? These ones, oh, I didn't say which ones these were. These ones are the Pacific Waters. I don't know if you can see them. They're really pretty. They're glittery. They're my favorite. But if Rebecca wants to put her link on there. Okay, so I'm only doing halfway on my white because I don't want it to dry before I start with my light gray on there. And you don't even have to do the light gray. It's just to add a little bit of interest. See how I did the background, how I have some light gray streaks on there? Hey, Sarah, all the way in England is watching. Hey, Sarah. Right? You're still over there? She was one of our classmates at Hoyna in Ventura, California. Wow, I got somebody international watching. Woo! All right. All right, I felt like my paint was a little bit dry, so I just dipped it. I just dipped the corner of it in the water, just so it wasn't drying on me too much. Okay, so I got halfway on there of white, but I don't want it to dry. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna get my gray on there, just a little bit of gray, and you don't want it too dark either, because we don't want it. So I'm just dipping the corner of my brush in the gray, and I'm going to start either on the bottom or the top. Try not to start in the middle, but try to start either at the very top or at the bottom, and just go all the way down, and try not to stop in the middle. Just go all the way and commit as you go. And I'm going to go over it a couple times. I might even want to pick up my canvas so I can get the bottom and make these long streaks. See how that gray blended in there with the white? That's why we put the white on first, so that the gray wouldn't be so harsh. I'm going to get a little bit more gray. This time I'm going to start from the bottom and go up. And this kind of gives a little bit of a implication of like wood, but we're not going to do the lines like you would see on a palette board painting. I might want to go up and down. Just keep your strokes long. And I'm pushing quite hard too. Another way to do this is with a little kitchen sponge. If you get a little kitchen sponge and you cut it up, that's another way that you can get some texture on there. All right, I'm going to move on to the other side. Get my white on there. since it's already a white background canvas, it's not like you have to get it perfectly covered. Yay, Becca's got her Color Street link on there. Yeah, they're really fun to put on. Really cute designs in there too. And they last longer than regular nail polish out of the bottle. Who used to get Jamberries? I remember when Jamberries came out. I think I still have some. But you have to use a hair dryer for that. I don't have time for that. Get a little bit of gray. I'm going to start in with my gray streaks. This part can be kind of, what do you call it? Kind of meditative, kind of relaxing. And you can put as much on there as you want. All right, you still there? I thought I changed my settings to notifications not to bother me. Apparently I didn't do it right. My dad just tried calling. What timing? Call him back. All right. I'm not going to worry about my sides. You can if you want to, but it's not really going to matter too much. Yay, Andrea's watching. And I am done with this brush, so I'm going to stick it in my water so that the paint doesn't dry out on there. And I really need this to dry, so I might use my hair dryer, or I might just talk and let it air dry. How's the lighting, guys? Does the lighting look okay? Can you see that all right? Like, this is what... Can you guys see it? What are you guys drinking? You guys got anything to drink while you're watching my paint dry? I try not to drink as much soda. I don't drink as much soda as I used to, but I can't stop with my Dr. Pepper, especially if my husband brings it home. I have to hide it from my father-in-law, though, because he'll drink it too. So I have to hide a few down the bottom of the refrigerator. He doesn't drink all my Dr. Pepper. Alrighty. I think I am gonna blow dry this just so it's not taking so long, because we want to move on. All right. Hopefully this isn't too loud. You might want to turn down your volume. Totally dry, but that's okay. Didn't want to torture you for that long. Okay. Oh, another thing that I forgot that's really helpful when you're painting with acrylic paint is baby wipes, because they're like an eraser. So if you made a mistake or something you don't like, then you could just take one of these and wrap it around your finger, and then you wipe it off. Being really careful that if you have another color underneath that you're not wiping that off too. If your undercoat's dry, then that's fine. You won't wipe that off. But these work really good for cleaning up your hands, wiping off mistakes. They're awesome. I wanted to put that in there. All right, back to our painting. Okay. So what the next thing is we need to put our circle on there for our wreath. So this is where I'm going to use my plate. I want to center it. See if I could do this on the easel. I actually hadn't done it on the easel before, so let's see if I don't flub this up. Does that look about center? Actually, doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a reference. All right, I'm going to use a piece of chalk. Colored chalk, preferably if you have colored chalk, because the colored chalk will wipe right off afterwards. If you don't have chalk, just use pencil, but very lightly. And you might be able to erase it off later. Okay, so there's the basic shape of my wreath. I can't say wreath sometimes. Wreath. Okay, and then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan out where I want my roses. So you can do them however way you want. I'm going to start off with one right in the side here on the left, kind of in the middle there. I made that kind of like how big would that be? It's like 2.5 inches, but you can make them as big or little as you want your flowers, okay? This is your painting. So I'm going to do another one on the other side. Okay. And then I'm going to go up to the top, and I could put one in the middle if I want to, but I kind of want to make this a little bit offset. So I'm going to put one here and then another one here. And I'm going to do the same on the bottom. Okay. And the first color that I'm going to do is my, this is the Deco Art Carousel Pink. So any kind of a light to medium pink. And I'm going to use my medium-sized round brush and get that into my paint pretty good. And let's see, I'm going to pick this one. And I'm going to make a big blob, and it's not a perfect circle. I'm actually going to purposely make it irregular around the edges. And remember, guys, this is abstract painting. We're not doing any kind of realistic stuff. This is just abstract. It implies being a flower. This is not fine art. This is fun art. Not trying to be perfect. And Michelle, there are no perfect flowers. I remember when you told me that. There are no perfect flowers. She told me her flowers are perfect. There are no perfect flowers. All right, I'm just going to do those two for those are going to end up being my darker pink roses. See, those are going to be the two that are the darker pinks. And then next ones, and so I'm going to do these two on the ends here. But I'm using the same pink. Just filling it in. No really special way of doing it. Just make blobs. Blob, blob, blob. I'm gonna do the other side. These are gonna be my lighter pink flowers. Okay. All right. I'm going to, I'm not going to rinse off my brush, but instead I'm just going to wipe it off on my towel. And the next one is going to be the orange. So just put some regular orange on your plate, just a little bit. You can always get more. And I'm going to do the other two flowers. Not perfect circles, blobby circles. Yes, Judy. Yeah, if you can use what you have. If you don't have canvases, you can find some, you know, just you can do this on paper. You can do it on cardboard. I recently discovered that, and I actually hadn't done it yet, but the inside of a pizza box, it's white, at least the ones we get. And that seems like that'd be a pretty nice surface. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it out. See how that works. Okay. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do my darker pink, and I'm going to put this on the first set of roses that I did. I'm going to use that same brush, or you can use a smaller brush if you want, but I'm just going to use my same medium round brush. This is a Royal Big Kids round number 8. Just in case you wanted to know. All right. Okay, so here's the part that some people might be like, slow down. I'm going to go slow, and I'm going to be doing them all the same way pretty much. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a circle, or like a big dot, okay? Then I'm going to make a C on one side. I'm going to make a backwards C on the other side. And then I'm going to make a happy face. Every time I'm dipping into my paint and I'm getting more paint. Then I'm going to make a frowny face. And then I'm going to make parentheses. See that? Real easy. So it's just like you're making parentheses. You don't want to make them too curved in. They're kind of like stretched out C's. Then I'm going to finish off by doing some curved lines around the edges. And I'm kind of flicking my wrist a little bit, or my paintbrush. I'm not really flicking my wrist, aren't I? And then if I feel like it, I can add some more in there if I want to. The thing is don't overwork it. It doesn't need to be overworked. So if I feel like it, I can add a few more in there with a lighter touch. Or I can just leave it as it is. Okay, I'm going to show you again. So my other darker is down here. I'm going to make a circle, a filled in circle. I'm going to make a letter C, backwards C. And it's okay if your undercoating is still wet, that's all right. I'm going to make a smiley face. When you do these, you kind of want to make it fast. If you go too slow, then it will look too, I don't know how you say that. Like you're trying too hard, maybe? I don't know. It just looks better when you can do it quickly. I'm going to do a few on the edges. Okay, it's not perfect. These are abstract roses or flowers. I did these one time last year at one of my paint parties, and I called them roses, and somebody said, mine don't look like roses. That's okay. They still look like flowers. Everybody's flowers came out different because everybody is different. Everybody's going to use a different pressure. Everybody's going to do it a little bit differently, so they're going to come out a little bit different, but they're still going to look like flowers. All right, I am done with that dark pink, so I'm going to wipe off my brush on my rag, and I'm going to rinse off this time in my water. Because the next color I'm going to use is the white for the rest of the roses. They're going to have white, but we're doing that same method. And I need a sip of soda. I actually was going to grab a bottle of water, but there wasn't any in the refrigerator. And I saw the Pepsi and there was one left in there, so what the heck. I don't have much self-control. Okay, I'm going to use the same paintbrush, and I'm going to use white paint. And I need a little bit more. Anybody actually painting along with me? Or are you just watching? Which is fine. I'm going to have this on the replay again on my page, so you can always come back and watch it again and slow down and pause it. Michelle, are you painting? Do you have your girls painting with you? Slow down. Okay, I'm slowing down. Taking a little break here, I'll let you catch up. Yay! Got somebody actually painting with me. You're gonna have to post a picture of it when you're done. Post it in the comments. Oh, and what I didn't mention before is if you wanted to do this painting later and you want to get the wording, just PM me, message me with your email address, and I'll send you over a JPEG of the words, and then I'll show you how to trace it onto your canvas. Unless you want to freehand it, of course. Of course, you can always do that. Well, Michelle and anybody else is catching up. I have, so my sample is the He is Risen. And then I also, there's also this other one, it's He is Risen, y'all. That's like a really popular phrase, the y'all back in the South. I like it too, though. It's cute. Or there's Choose Joy. And then I got the Hello Spring. I can't believe Easter is tomorrow. Can't believe it. Get snuck up so soon. It's such a weird, everything's just so weird. But you know what? That's just because we can't actually go to church doesn't mean that we can't celebrate Jesus and what he did for us. No, sir. We can still, we can still go to church virtually. We can still celebrate. It's not going to stop us. All right, how you doing, Michelle? I'm going to move on with the white. I'm doing the same thing. So I'm gonna start, it doesn't matter which one I do. This time, though, the only difference is instead of a closed circle, I'm making an open circle. Okay. And I'm going to do this the rest the same way. I'm doing a letter C, a backwards C, a happy face, a frowny face, and then parentheses. It doesn't have to be in that order. You could do it however way you like, but basically that's what you're doing. And you're just doing these stretched out C's. And I'm going to do a few more around the edges. Don't overdo it, because if you keep on going, then you're going to totally cover up your undercoat there, and you want to see some of that orange peeking through. You can add a few more if you want to. If you feel like you're a little heavy-handed with your paintbrush, switch to a smaller paintbrush to get some thinner strokes in there. Nothing wrong with that. And if you do feel like you overdid it, switch to a smaller paintbrush and then go back in with your orange. So I'm going to pretend like I'm overdoing it, like somebody I know might be. And I overdid it. Oh no, I don't like that. So I'm going to switch to my small brush. I'm going to dip back into my orange, and it's still wet, and that's okay. And I'm just going to put those strokes back in there. And if you want to, you can even add another color in there if you want, like some yellow or something, or some pink. You can get real creative. And see how I'm doing it quickly? If I go too slow, it might look labored. Is that the word I'm thinking of? Okay, don't try to get it looking exactly like mine. Everybody's different, and they're going to come out looking different, and that's okay. They'll still look like flowers. Okay, I'm going to move on to... Okay, good. All right, I'm going to do my other ones. So I'm making an open circle. Is that how a C goes? Am I doing my C wrong? Oh my goodness. I didn't switch. You're looking at this backwards. I forgot to change the whatchamacallit, the setting where you're not looking at it backwards. I wonder if I could still do that. Oh, whoops. No, that's not what I wanted. You did not want to see that. Now oh, sorry guys. What did I do? Did not do anything. Okay, you didn't need to see that junk back there. That's not what I meant to click on. Oh, here we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, now you're looking at it the way I'm looking at it. I'm going to have to make a note to do that. To remember to switch it so you can see it right, so you're not seeing the words backwards. All right. So I'm making my open circle. And guys, you don't have to do it this way. This is just one way of doing it. If you have another method of how you want to do it, you go right ahead. You do it the way you want to do it. It's your painting. Don't stress over it. Of course, the harder I push, the thicker my strokes are. The lighter I press, the thinner my strokes are. Circle, letter C, backward C, smiley face, frowny face. You don't have to do them in this order. They're just curved lines. Quick little swipes. You're trying, Rebecca? You can always go back and add more to it. Just because we move on doesn't mean that's it for your flowers. You can always go back, add some more if you want to. Okay, did I get all my... All right, now you don't have to do this, but I kind of feel like adding just a little bit of white in my darker two flowers. You don't have to do this, but I still had some paint on my brush. So I'm just adding a few little, almost like dry brushing it on there on the two darker flowers. Kind of gives it a little bit of highlights. Actually, I'm going to get a little bit more. A little bit of paint, but then I'm wiping it off on the side of my palette. Just a few, not as much as before. Okay, and now I'm going to wipe off my paintbrush and I'm going to rinse it off this time. Okay, the next what we're going to do is we're going to do some lines in between here. In between each flower, we're going to use a small brush, the smallest brush that you have, your regular green color, okay. So this part, you guys are probably working on a flat surface. So what you can do is wherever it's dry, you can actually rest this part of your hand onto your canvas, onto your surface, and make a quick line. It doesn't have to go all the way to the other flower. You want to get close, but it doesn't have to go all the way. Try to make it quickly. Try not to go too slow or you're going to get a wobbly line. Uh-oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you all not hear me? Can anybody hear me? Okay, somebody did a thumbs up, but Tia said that she can't hear me. Oh, okay, Tia. Phew! All right. Tia was having a little technical difficulty there. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, great. All righty. All right, let's keep going. Thank you for joining me, Tia. Were you able to do the printout of the words? I did get them to you, right? For today's one. So see, I didn't do it perfectly. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect circle. Doesn't need to be. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my medium brush. This one here. Any of your medium-sized brush, round brush. I'm going to dip into that same green. And I'm going to make some leaves on each side. See how I have these little leaves coming off of it? You don't want to use too small of a brush or you're going to have these little teeny tiny little leaves on there. And then it'll take longer too. So, but you don't want a big old huge brush either. Well, I don't know, that might look okay too. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna angle it and you could go either way. If you're left-handed, you might go the other direction, so that's okay. But what we're going to try to do is keep our leaves going in the same direction all the way around, and I'm going to go clockwise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up at the top, and I'm going to angle it. My brush is kind of flat against the canvas as much as I can without my hand being in the way, and I'm just going to press down and go out just a little bit. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. And see how I'm kind of angling it off of that stem line, kind of like a 45-degree angle. They're not straight up. They're not straight. They're not coming straight perpendicular off of it. They're coming off of it at an angle. So you're going to press down because that's going to give you the fat part of the leaf. And then just go out just a little bit. Sometimes you might have to fix your little tip there like I just did. That's okay. And you're just going to keep doing that on each side. And I'm offsetting my leaves, meaning they're not like, because you could do it like this if you wanted to, where they're coming off, you know, they're like attached right there. You can do it like that too. I'm going to keep going all the way around, keeping in that same direction. You can even kind of add a little flick at the end. See how that kind of changes the leaf shape there? If you want to. Now that's just how I'm doing them. You might discover a different way, and that's okay. You might discover a different way of doing your leaves, and that's awesome. They don't have to look just like mine. If you notice, when you press down first, you get a thicker leaf. The harder you press down, the thicker your leaf is going to be. How you guys doing? Oh my gosh, you can hear my chickens? My stupid rooster. Oh, it's kind of breezy out there too. Should I close my window? Is that annoying? How bad is that? Can you hear my roosters? Can you hear my chickens? Yeah, it's a nice day today, so we opened up the windows. And I am wearing a short sleeve shirt for the first time in I don't know how long. Okay. The next thing we're going to do, don't worry, if you're not up to the step, you'll catch up, is you're going to take your light green. If you don't have light green, just add a little bit of your white to your green, maybe a little bit of yellow too, and that will give you a lime kind of green. I'm using Deco Art Sour Apple, but any kind of a light green will do. And you don't have to wait for your green leaves to dry. I'm going to take that same brush, and you can rest your hand on there, and I'm just making little dashes right in the middle. It doesn't really matter where. It could be right in the middle of each leaf. It could be like more on the top side of each leaf. It does not matter. Just get some light green in there. Do quick little flicks. Sometimes you'll have to get your paint really thick on there if the other color that is on there is still wet, you have to get more paint on your paintbrush. Otherwise it just kind of smooshes in with the other wet color there. Real quick flicks. Easy peasy. Thank you, Christy. Aww. When are your paintbrushes coming? I hope they come soon. But Christy, you'll be able to watch this later. I'm going to have it on my page as a replay. So you can still do this painting if you want. Right now, just watch and make comments. I'm going to do a door prize for people who are commenting on here, and the winner's going to receive a free entry to my next Saturday painted prayer painting. Of course, if you're already in it, then sorry, I'll pick somebody else. You know who you are. But don't let me forget to do that. So make comments on here, and then I'm going to scroll and pick somebody to join my next week's painting tutorial. Or it's $10 to join. All right, I don't want to overdo that. So that just adds a little bit of highlights in there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my little blue flowers, or whatever color you want. Your brushes. My brushes come this week. I did get my, oh yay, you got your canvas and paints though, so I'm half ready. Yay! Well, if you're really desperate, Christy, if you have food coloring, what was that kid recipe? Food coloring and was it flour or something like that? And you can make like finger paints for your kids or for you. If you're really desperate for paint. Okay, so I'm going to get my light blue. I'm using my kind of like a turquoisey blue because I think that looks really pretty with the pinks and the oranges, but any light blue that you have. And you can either use, no, I'm going to stick with the same medium brush. Not too big though. I wouldn't go any bigger than this. But use what you got. And I'm going to get a good amount of paint on my brush. Okay, so how I'm going to do this, you don't have to do this every time, but I'm going to do this just to show you. I'm going to pick out wherever, it doesn't matter where you put your little flowers. You can put them anywhere you want. So don't stress over this. See how I just have them scattered around? Doesn't really matter. What I did kind of tend to put one on each side, but I didn't do it on every flower. I did rose on each side. I just did it on some of them, and I alternated where they were. So just kind of do where you feel like it could use a little blue flower. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a little dot just for my center point. Once you get the hang of this, you don't have to keep doing the dot part. And you can actually do this two different ways. You can start with the tip of your paintbrush in that dot and press and pull out. Press, pull out. And you're going to get little flower petals that are going to be kind of pointy. That's one way to do it. Or make a little dot. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to, the tip of my paintbrush, can you see? Okay, the tip of my paintbrush is going to be the tip of that flower petal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a little head. I'm going to make a little arm. Got a little head and two little arms there. And I'm going to make a little feet. I'm going to make a foot going that way, or a leg. And see how I did that? Looks like a little starfish. I'll show you, I'll keep showing you. So I'm gonna make a little dot there. You don't have to keep making that little dot, but that just might help you to centralize it. Let me get a little bit more paint. I'm gonna press down. There's a little head. I'm gonna go make a little arm. And I'm just pressing. I'm not really doing anything. I have my paintbrush. I'm holding it kind of flat. I'm not holding it straight up and down like this. I'm got it angled as close to the canvas as I can. Flower petals tend to look better when they have an uneven number of petals, but if you want to keep adding more petals on there, like this one, I feel like it needs another petal right there. And it still looks okay. Was I able to explain that okay? I'm just going to keep going where I feel like I need a little petal, a little flower. Lots of little petals. And once you get the hang of this, you can get quite fast with it. And see, I don't even need to make the little dot in the middle anymore. Forgot about alarms going off. I have an alarm on my phone for everything. I have an alarm on my phone to remind the kids to eat a snack at 3 o'clock. Otherwise, they'll be starving right before dinner and they want to eat something. And then they won't want to eat their dinner. But lately, lots of rules have gone out the window. How about you guys? Have most of your rules gone out the window since quarantining? We've been on spring break this week, so we've been going to bed late. Not sleeping in too late though, because my husband doesn't, I think he gets jealous. He doesn't want everybody sleeping in when he's got to get up. I'm turning my canvas, so you can do that too. Turn your canvas if you want to, instead of turning yourself. Let's see. You can put as many of these on here as you want. And you might even know of some other different kinds of flowers that you might want to put on there. It's just paint. You can always paint over it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I can either keep this same brush or I can switch to a smaller brush. Doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to stick with this brush, the same brush, and I'm going to use my white. I'm not going to worry about my flowers being dry, and I'm going to make some little highlights in there. I'm going to start from the middle and flick out. It might be a little harder if your paint is wet. So you might wanna let that dry and go back and do that. That's totally up to you. If you want to go back and do that later after it dries. Because sometimes it can be a little bit tricky when the paint's still wet. But I'm just putting little, yeah, I'm going to switch to my smaller brush. My white paint's really thick too. But I'm starting in the middle and I'm just making like little stars going out each petal, and I'm not trying to make it perfect. This just adds a little something to your little blue flowers. If you want, that's totally optional. You don't have to do that. If your paint is still too wet for you and you're getting a little frustrated, then just do it later. You can go back and do it later. Like that one had a lot of paint on it, and that white my white didn't want to cooperate. Just smooshes in with my wet blue paint. But I'm being impatient. I don't want to wait. Hi, Isaac. Are you going to paint too? Not right now, but Christy, you got to make him paint too. Next Saturday. I have a lot of different quotes that I put in the group for my painted prayer painting tutorial I'm doing on Saturday. I know you saw some of them, Christy, last night when I was adding them to the group. Because I can see who looked. I almost sent you a message. What are you doing up so late? I was hoping it wasn't making your phone chime every time I added something to the group. I figured you can turn off your notifications if that was happening. Okay. How you guys doing? No, ma'am. I have a garage to paint. Well, you can paint some flowers on your garage. You can let Christy paint some flowers on there or something. All right. Now this is the point where we're going to do our little blue berries on there. If you went and got a Q-tip, that's what I did, was I used a Q-tip. But if you don't have a Q-tip and you have a paintbrush that has a flat end, like, where is it? Right there. This paintbrush is one of my smallest paintbrushes, but it has a great flat end at the end there that makes really good circles. But I want bigger circles than that, so I'm going to use I shouldn't say Q-tip, a cotton swab, because I'm not using Q-tip brand. Sorry, Q-tip. It's a cotton swab. I don't want to get in trouble. All right, so I'm dipping my Q-tip straight into my purple paint. There's no rhyme or reason. You're just going to dot around it wherever you want, as long as it's close to your flowers. You don't have to think about it too much. You'll know when you need to get more paint. You can, if you feel like you're getting low, if it's getting dry, try press and twist. And that will help you get that little circle. They do not have to be perfect little circles either. Don't overthink it. Just get them on there. Can't go wrong. This is just a fun little painting. All right. There you go, Isaac. You can decorate it with Christy's paintings. That would be awesome. Alrighty. I'm done with my wreath. You can keep adding more stuff to it if you want to. You can keep adding some more dots on there, maybe a different color if you like. Totally up to you. You can go back and add more to it if you want to. I'm going to take a sip of my Dr. Pepper. I didn't want to drink any more coffee because that might make my hand a little shaky. I had 1 cup of coffee this morning. That was good. Good enough. Of course, I guess Dr. Pepper has caffeine in it too, huh? Well, we'll find out. Alrighty. Are you guys ready to move on? It's okay if you're not ready yet. You can always go back and add them. If you printed out one of my templates here, you're going to want to cut it out where the circle is. One of them doesn't have a circle, but that's okay. Just cut around it. So pick the one that you want. I'm going to do, because I already did He Is Risen, I'm going to do my Hello Spring this time. I'm going to cut out, not perfectly, doesn't matter, just get it cut out. So we don't need all that excess paper. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to work flat, I think. Because I haven't tried it up on an easel before. But I think I'll have better control if I took it off of the... You want a Dr. Pepper, Christy? I'm sorry. Am I making you thirsty for a Dr. Pepper? One time there was, this was actually just a few weeks ago, I thought there was going to be some Dr. Peppers in the refrigerator. I didn't know that my father-in-law was drinking them too. And I was jonesing for a Dr. Pepper, and I thought there was one in there, and I went, and there's no Dr. Pepper. I'm not really a caffeine addict, but I think I'm starting to be, because I was like, oh, I was looking forward to that. And now it's not there. So now I hide them in the very bottom of the refrigerator. So, because he's kind of tall, so he's not going to bother to like bend down and look down there. So, okay, so I'm working flat. Let me see here. You can see okay. Make sure you see this. Okay. All right, get your painting out of the way, or get some work surface here. If you have your printout cut out, you're going to flip it over to the back. And you're going to use a pencil, like a regular number 2 pencil. And you're just going to cover the back. I'm taking the pencil and I'm kind of going on the side so that I get a thicker line. I'm going to cover that up. Sometimes you can hold it up to the light and you can see where your words are. The main thing is that you have the graphite where the words are. Make sure you're doing this on the back. What we're doing is we're making our own homemade carbon paper. If you have carbon paper, just use that. Then if you have carbon paper, you know how to do that. But this is the cheater method on how to get any sort of image or lettering on your surface. This also works with chalk. If you have a darker background, if you're going to be doing this over a dark background, then you can use chalk. Like with this one, I actually used chalk. I did the same method, but I put like a white or a light colored, and I used kids sidewalk chalk, and that's how I got the wording on this one. But because this is a lighter color background, then pencil will work. So I'm going to make sure that you're pressing hard. Not too hard. You don't want to break your lead, but hard enough. And you might want to crisscross those lines. Make sure that you have a good amount of that pencil on there. Any questions? Okay. So as long as I have pencil on the lettering, that's all you need. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to center it where I want it. You do want to avoid your wet paint. So if you have wet paint, either just be really careful or do this a little bit later. You can tape this down if you want to. I usually don't. I kind of feel like I should this time. Just knowing me, I'm gonna screw it up all in front of you guys, because that's just me. Tape it. As long as you tape it where it's dry. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, you could take that same pencil if you want, or you can use like a mechanical pencil without the lead, or you could do it with the lead, or you can use a pen. And actually a pen will be great because then you can see where you've been. As long as you have something where you're pressing down, because what that's going to do is that's going to press that graphite onto your canvas or whatever surface you're working on. And I'm just going to go over those letters, pressing down quite firm. Do your first letter and then lift it up. This is why it's a good idea to put tape on there. That way you don't lose your place. But can you see how, I don't know if you can see that, but it pressed my pencil on there. So I'm going to do that for all the words. Every once in a while, lift it up. Check it to see if you didn't miss anything. Doesn't have to be perfect because you're just going to go back over it with your Sharpie pen or your paint, and you can fix it then. We're having some really nice weather. How about you guys? Is your weather good? It's like it's supposed to be up to 60 today. It's like the warmest it's been in a long time. those of you who are going to be part of my next Saturday's paint party with the painted prayer, I think I have about 16 quotes in there. So if you have any ideas, something that you would want to do, as long as it's like no more than like 10 words, because that will just get to be too much, let me know. Can you see that? Yay, it's gorgeous down in Ventura. All right, it's beautiful. Yeah, you got a little bit of rain. It tried to rain here. It looked like it wanted to rain for several days, and it just spit it on us. Okay, so this, I can use a Sharpie marker, like a black Sharpie marker, if you want, or get your black paint and your smallest paintbrush. I'm just going to paint that in. I'm going to turn my canvas over. By now, most of my stuff is pretty dry, so I can rest my hand on there. Thank you guys for being here with me. For taking some time out of your day to hang out with me. Really appreciate it. Now that I can't do in-person paint parties, hopefully pretty soon we'll be able to do that again, because it's a lot better in person. What do you guys miss? Not being able to go out. Like yesterday I was just thinking, oh, I should take the kids to, what was I thinking of? Oh, bowling, because we just got we got a used Wii Sports, the Wii game stuff, and so we've been playing bowling, and I was like, oh, we should take the kids bowling, and then I was like, oh yeah, we can't do that right now. That sucks. Those of you with kids doing the homeschooling thing, how are you guys doing with that? Oh, Christy says, I miss walking through Pier 1 and enjoying a nice dinner out. Yes. We'll be able to do that again someday. I'm doing it upside down because I didn't want to like go across too much. You don't have to do it upside down. I was just doing it because I can get my hand closer to it and avoid, if I had some wet paint down here, I could avoid that. Because I was thinking that these were a little bit too wet, so I didn't want to smudge them. They're pretty dry now. So my kids know my secret now that we have to do the homeschooling thing. I tried to keep it a secret for a long time that I suck at math. That was my worst subject, but I didn't want my kids to know that because I didn't want them to give up too easily in math. Because I think that's kind of what happened to me, was I knew that my own parents sucked at math, so I'm gonna suck at math too. So I really didn't want them to know that. Well, they know now. At least my daughter does, because she's the one my 8-year-old, she's the one I've been having to help with the most doing math. Yeah, fractions are not my thing. That's when I shut down. I felt so bad. And then I think I made her frustrated. And now I see her just like giving up. And that sucks because actually she's pretty smart and she can pick up things quite easily. But I know that if she sees that mommy kind of has this attitude, then she might adopt this attitude of not being that good at math. Oh, good, Rebecca. I'm glad you're doing okay with the homeschooling thing. With my 11-year-old, it's been easy actually because I haven't really had to do anything for him because his teacher put everything online and even did a schedule, which they don't have to follow. It's just a, it's just a guide, you don't have to follow it to a T, but it really helped. But I did have to watch him because at first he would have on the computer, he would have several tabs open that were not school related. And so I think what he was trying to do was when I wasn't watching, he'd go click and go do whatever he wanted to do instead of his schoolwork. So I caught on and I told him, you better close out all those other tabs that are not for school related. But it's been much easier with him because everything is all totally online. With my 8-year-old daughter, there's a few things online, but then there's work packets that she has to do. Thank you, Christy. I'm not sure what was it that made sense. I looked at your comment too late. I don't remember what I was talking about. So if you're doing this with paint, yeah, you might go a lot slower. If you're working with a Sharpie marker, it might go a little bit quicker for you. Just make sure you have a new Sharpie marker, not one that's like fading out. That might make you a little frustrated. Okay. And then if you want, if you have, totally optional, but at my paint parties, I love to bring out the glitter glue. And this one is it's an iridescent glitter glue, so it goes on anything beautifully. I'm just gonna put a little bit of it on my flowers, but you totally, it's not gonna make or break it. It just adds a little bit of something to it. If you have a glitter glue that is like an iridescent color, it will, the actual glue part usually will dry clear. So you don't have to be too particular where you put it. You can be quite messy with it. Just make sure that your paint is dry underneath. And you can add this wherever you want on your painting. Anybody else here that hasn't done any comments that wants to win a ticket to my next week's paint party. That one's going to have more printouts that you can choose from. Just gotta make a comment, say hi, or where you're watching from. Anybody have any ideas what else we can add on here? Are you going to do any different colors? That's what's great about this, is you can choose whatever colors you want. To match your home decor. Alrighty, well, I think that's it. And let's see here. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, I'm gonna pick a winner for my next week's paint party. That's normally $10. And let's see here. The winner is, let me scroll. Is Rebecca. You're the winner. You get to join my next Saturday's painting tutorial. I'll send you the link for it. Anybody else? Ah, Lori, did you just get on? I'm gonna have a replay on my page, so you'll be able to watch it again if you wanted to. Thank you, Rebecca. Oh, Joseph's watching. Just now that saw. How long have you been in here? I guess I only see who's watching if you make a comment. So thank you so much for joining me. Turn you up a little bit. There we go. Thank you so much for joining me. And happy Easter, guys. Hope you have a good Easter. And thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the likes. Thank you. That was my first virtual paint tutorial. So a little bit nervous, but the more I do it, the more I will get better at it. So yay, busy yard day. Yes, it's a beautiful day today. Oh my goodness, look at all those hearts. Thank you. Oh my gosh, how are you guys doing that? You're showing me some love. Thank you. I feel so loved. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh my gosh, there's like a ton of hearts going up. Wow. That is awesome. Thank you, Christy. Nice. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'll be having some more. If you have some other ideas on what you would like to paint, then shoot me a message on some ideas on what you might want to paint in the future. I'll be doing some more free tutorials, and yeah. So alrighty, guys. I'll see you guys next time. If you have done this painting with me anytime, even later, then take a picture of it and put it in the comments for me. I would love to see it. All right, guys. See you later. Thank you so much.